Hi, guys, welcome back to my podcast, episode 4. I didn't wake up one day and feel ready to date again. I just got tired of being emotionally retired. And also, my mom started planning my future without my consent. It was not even 6 months after my divorce. My mother had already started planning for my next wedding. She had contacted marriage brokers and some relatives to look for a suitable guy. It started becoming real. I tried to convince her that I am not ready yet, but we all know how our voices get ignored in Indian homes by our parents. I always thought my parents were modern and open minded, but at that moment, they turned into typical brown parents. I knew that I'll be forced and emotionally blackmailed into getting married. I immediately moved out of my parents' house and started living separately for my own mental health purpose. Soon after, I also planned a solo trip to Thailand. It was an amazing trip, and when I was sitting and sipping my beer alone in Thailand, I realized yes, humans do need companionship in their life. But I also realized how important it is to choose the right partner. So while I was quietly healing, minding my own business, my mom decided, okay, that's enough, let's get her married. And suddenly, I went from figuring out my life to meeting random men like job interviews. And the way it happened was so casual. She would walk in my room and announce that we are going to meet someone. So be ready on this day at this time. And I'm like, someone who is someone. These meetings are an experience. I'm sitting there all dressed up and pretending to be normal, and inside my head, I'm running a full psychological analysis. I want to share with you all the very first guy I met for arranged marriage. The first time this kind of meeting was arranged, it was with the guy's family, and he himself was not there because he was working out of country. Only his family, like his sister, mother, uncle, aunt, and his nephew, showed up at my house. I was all ready and wearing a salwar kameez and waiting for the family to show up, sitting in my room. After all the hellos and how are yous, they asked me to come outside in the hall, and a chair was set for me to sit in, which was positioned so that everyone in the room could see me properly. They started asking questions like what are your hobbies, where do you work, etc. etc. And my family was more than eager to tell them how good I was at studies and how I can manage the house and how gentle I am, because apparently to be a woman is to be gentle and smiling at all times. I had already started getting irritated when everyone said we will call the guy on video call so that they can see each other. So the call started. His uncle talked to him for a bit and then passed the phone to my family. My mother and my brother in law spoke, and they held the phone in front of me. A little too close, if I may add. My mother doesn't understand how the camera angles work. He told me where he stays and the company he's working in. I told him about myself, where I am working and all. Like, I could feel the eyes of everyone in the room on me, staring as if something is about to explode. I couldn't talk much. After sensing my hesitation to talk in front of everyone, someone suggested, let them talk later over the phone when they are both free. In my mind, the questions were running, not about the guy, but about myself. What am I looking for in this guy? How am I supposed to decide if he is good for me? What questions am I supposed to ask? And will he answer honestly? To be honest, I don't even know what I am looking for in myself. Then, how can I know about this person? After the call was over, my favorite part began. The snacks. The only thing that made sense to me on that day. While leaving, his family said that he might be coming to India later that month for a family function and we can meet up at that time and get to know each other better. In the meantime, they shared his phone number with my mom so that I can speak with him on the phone. A few days after that, my mom sent me his number. That's when the confusion started. Because a part of me was like, maybe this is easier. Maybe I should just settle into the process. No apps, no confusion, no situationships. Everything is structured, it's clear and decided. But another part of me wasn't ready to choose someone just because it made sense. I didn't want something that just looked right. I wanted something that felt right to me. I realized I don't want to be pushed into my next chapter. I want to walk into it. So instead of resisting everything, I made a small shift. I didn't say yes to everything. I didn't say no to everything either. I just told myself, let me explore on my terms. I finally made the call after a week, by which time his family were already getting anxious and they had called my mother and my brother in law a few times. We started talking about our work, office timings, commuting arrangements, and managing the house, work life balance, parents' expectations, and expectations from your partner. We talked almost for an hour, and then he asked at the end, how did you feel talking to me? I had no specific answer at the moment. I just said good and ended the call. Following few days were kind of strange. He kept texting me good morning and what did you cook today and how is your work, and if I responded a little late, he would ask me, is everything okay? I'm worried about you. As if my life is totally dependent on him, and as if I did not know how to live before he entered my life. He sent me pictures of the gifts he purchased for me and also my brother in law. Apparently, my brother in law was very nice to him when he spoke on the phone. I did not like the idea that he bought gifts before even meeting me once. Anyway, one weekend when I was free, I started talking to him. I was determined to get to know him and not make any rash decisions. I thought about giving myself a chance to understand. I asked him about his goals in life. He said, nothing, I'm working, I have a good job, and just living my life, which I felt was very vague. I felt maybe I have put him under spotlight. So let me ask a simple question. I asked him, what is he looking for in me or, in a potential partner? He said, I'll handle everything. I just want someone to be with. No need to go to work, no need to even cook or anything. Just be with him. I started to understand what he was actually looking for. He was not genuinely interested in me, but he was just trying to put someone in a role, like a company hiring for a specific job opening. They do not want someone in specific, they need someone who can handle the job. Real relationships do not work like that. It needs a connection between two people. It's not a job that you can quit when you want and find another that suits you better, but it is something you need to work through no matter what. The realization turned me off immediately, but I thought maybe if I meet him in person, things might be different. Anyway, he was visiting India in a few weeks and get to know him better. Meeting him in person might feel different. So I stopped texting him and I told him, let's meet when you're visiting India in a few weeks. The day he was traveling to India, he called my mother and told her that he is coming to India only for me and he hopes that everything will be fine. My mother called and informed me about it. I was taken aback. I called him and he was at the airport boarding flight to India. I asked him what's going on. His family had informed us that he'll be visiting India for a family function and I could meet him at that time. But now he's telling that he's coming to India only for my sake. That puts a lot of pressure on me. He was acting as if everything was finalized and he was positive about me saying yes, when in fact I had not even met this guy. I had seen pictures, but how can I decide on my life partner in one phone call, few minutes of video calling in front of the family, and a few text exchanges? I literally started panicking. I called my mother saying that I'm not feeling good about this rishta. The way he and his family are taking me for granted even before meeting. I already lost interest in this guy. I told my mother that I do not want to meet him at all. So after that, they kept calling for some time, and his family even asked if they can come to my home and meet me just for half an hour. But my family declined. So after that incident, my life looks kind of like this, a little chaotic, but also a little empowering because for the first time, I was not waiting for life to happen to me, I was participating in it. I was not desperate, I was just open. If I liked someone, I exploded. If I did not, I walked away. No overthinking, no forcing, no settling. I didn't become fearless, I just became honest with myself.